Thank you all for those who listened to the first episode of this podcast, Inspire Insight, and also subscribe to our channel. We are available on YouTube, Spotify, and also Apple Podcast. Those who haven't yet subscribed, I would advise you to do so, just for future alerts of latest episode. And I really appreciate all of you for listening also. And I believe that this journey that we've started together will be a wonderful one. So today, in this episode, I want to discuss a topic I call the big picture. And as usual, I'll basically start with a few questions to get us rolling. So first of all, how do you overcome challenges as an individual in your working life? And how do you address setbacks or delays? Lastly, do you actually hope for tomorrow in everything that you do? These set of questions is what we are going to sort of discuss through another angle to appreciate what we mean by the big picture. So first off, one of the constants in the journey we call life is called challenges. Yeah, I know most of you have heard that change is the only constant. No, I'm here to also tell you that challenges is also part of the constants that we have in life. Because as an individual, so far as you're a human being, you are bound to have challenges, whether you are able to overcome them or not. They are bound to come. It's part of life kit, or should I say life starter pack. It comes together. No matter where you fall, young, old, male, female, rich, poor, you are bound to face a challenge or some challenges here and there. But what distinguishes you from the other is the ability to overcome those challenges when they come, because eventually they will come. You can ask any successful person you know to show you the scars that they got from challenges, because challenges are supposed to leave something with you, like an experience. Some are scars, I don't know what yours may be, but whatever that it is, every successful person has got a record of facing a challenge one time in their life or several times, and they overcame them, and that basically lifted them up. And I've come to understand that in dealing with any form of challenge in your life, the base or the fundamental approach is to see the big picture. So this is where the big picture comes in. Because obviously, if you are not seeing the big picture, then the challenges might be a setback. Some might even be a stop that you cannot even continue or to progress any further. Now, when considering the big picture in life, it often involves a reflection on broader themes like values and long-term goals, rather than just getting caught up in the day-to-day details. Yes, you need to see what you want to be, who you want to be, clearly in front of you to be able to deal with such challenges. That is where the big picture comes in. So firstly, what gives you purpose in your life? What are the things that matters to you most? These values and meanings allow you to be able to shape your way of thinking and seeing things, and even guide you in the decisions that you make because of the values and then what sort of drives you or motivates you. Now, I've come to realize that almost everything that happens to a person is connected to something. Yes. Every single activity, action, experience, whatever it is, even if it's a mistake, has a connection one way or the other. One of my mentors in my early days in my career used to say something to me, and it has been part of my life till now. He used to say, nothing in this life happens by chance. I'm going to repeat that. Nothing in this life happens by chance, meaning everything is connected. This statement is a deep statement which confirms that the fact that everything that happens is connected, you need to acknowledge that it's not by chance. Now, the struggle here is trying to find that connection. Yep. However, once the connection is found, it changes your perspective or even your approach to issues or challenges in life, because it doesn't become a showstopper or a barrier. It actually becomes a stepping stone once you've been able to overcome that particular challenge based on the big picture that you are seeing. Would you ever believe if I told you that mistakes in life help shapes you to be a better person? Mistakes. that we do. Nobody's perfect. We say that, but have you actually thought that yes, mistakes is allowed, or mistakes are allowed, or they are needed in life? Some great people wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't some mistakes they did or some wrong decisions they took. Yeah, this might be controversial, but you understand as we go on. But look at product development when it comes to the business world. When we are trying to bring out a product or something, always it starts with trying to solve an issue, whether it's a service or it's a product. Those who develop them try to discover the issue that there is and try to fix or solve that issue in terms of bridging that gap. So you can actually see mistakes as gaps. Yes. And once you acknowledge that, yes, this is a mistake, and you try to rectify that, it's an act of bridging that gap. So rectifying your mistakes can even be seen as enhancing oneself. Because once you are able to say, okay, this I didn't do it well, I failed in this, and I need to make it better. The quest of making it better enhances you. So at the end of the day, you are even going to maybe a version 2.0 of yourself, or a version 3.0. You can go to even version 10.0. Why? Because you keep trying to bridge the gap, you keep trying to rectify, you keep trying to make it better. So literally, failure does not stop you. When you fail, when you make that mistake, it doesn't stop. When you make that wrong decision, you learn from it. I told you last week about gratitude and be even grateful for the bad decisions that you make, because you learn from it. At the end of the day, if it doesn't go well, it's an experience for you. So in every situation, identifying the gap is actually part of bridging that gap. Setbacks are meant to happen, but to be able to keep going is as a result of seeing that big picture. Because as I said earlier on, challenges are constant, whether in your work, whether in your relationship, whatever you are doing, whatever path that you are on, you are bound to face these things. But you need to take a step back and ask yourself, okay, what am I trying to get to? What is my final output? Do these challenges, do they merit my final output? If you are able to accept, appreciate, and be passionate about where you want to get to in terms of your value, then all the challenges that hits you, this big picture is basically in front of your eyes. So these challenges can sort of be maybe add-ons or stepping stones, as I said earlier on, to just move you to where you want to get to. A classical example of challenges being connected to a big picture is mathematics. We have all done maths one way or the other in our lives before. Now look at when we started doing mathematics in our basic or elementary school. It was just a matter of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Yes, you are doing this separately. They were so basic. But remember, at the end of the day, your class teacher would have given you an assignment or even a test on these basic stuff. Now, once you're able to pass these 1 + 1, 2 + 2, all these simple things, you advance to more complicated stuff. Why? Because now you qualify with the background experience you have from the first challenge to be able to overcome the next challenge. So without the first challenge, you overcoming it, you will not be able to basically overcome the next one, which always, and I tell you as a fact, will be complicated than the first one. Yes, so challenges are built based on the levels that you rise to. But remember how it all started. It started with the simple ones before it got to the most complex ones. And at the end of the day, what happens at our current age, whether you're old, you're listening to me, you're old, you have a business or you're working, simple things like maybe business accounting become simpler to you in terms of trying to wrap your head around it. Why? Because you have some foundation early on. That is why they start from the scratch. So you build on those foundations and it leads you up to the bigger picture or the bigger things that you want to do. So in life, it's always about one step at a time. We don't rush from level 1, I'm jumping to level 20. It doesn't work that way. It's level 1 to level 2, level 3 to level 4 in that sequence. Because even if you are able to rise so quickly from level 1 to, let's say, level 20, remember you went through the process of moving from level 1, 2, 3 up to 20 before you got to that level 20. Now, another example is your boss or your manager. There's this clear assumption that managers or leaders or bosses are supposed to know what their subordinates do. Well, in some cases it's true, in some cases it's not true. But let's just use a case where it is true. Before you become a manager or a leader of a team or a group, you should be able to do what your subordinates or your followers are able to do, and even do it well. Because when they face challenges, they'll come to you and they are expecting to fix the problem for them. This means that they believe that you have gone through that process already and you've built that experience before you are where you are. So they coming to you, they know you are an expert. Now you just take a step back or a few years back, you were in their position and you are now learning from the grassroots, now learning the basics. You built yourself, got your experience, you kept moving up, and now you are where you are. That is experience. And challenges bring experience, and they help you to be able to move closer, if you are not already there, to your big picture. Now, we spoke about gratitude as an attitude in our first episode, if you remember. One of the key things here is that when you practice gratitude and maintain a perspective, this can help you appreciate where you are and what you have in difficult times. So when the challenges come, you just look back and say, okay, yesterday I was able to fix this problem. I did it. Now today I'm faced with this. The fact that I was able to fix the problem yesterday or a week ago means that today I'll be able to overcome this challenge. And as you keep overcoming these challenges based on the fact that there's a bigger goal, there's a bigger picture that you're looking at, what happens to you? It helps build you up to be able to fulfill what you want to fulfill in life. So ultimately, the big picture is deeply personal and evolves over time. It's not just tomorrow and next week. It's a gradual process. But the ability to take a step back and reflect and assess this with the things that happens to you in your life is key for greater fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for your time once again in trying to understand how to overcome challenges by just looking at the big picture. Once again, it's been your host, Mr. T, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And I hope to meet you again next week. Have a good one. Cheers.